You like the UFC stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
The state
Yes.
of California is expecting you to
Yes.
fund him not having a job.
Yes, because I have to provide the lifestyle. I have to maintain the lifestyle at my house, at his house. That's my obligation, I guess, which is crazy to me. So crazy, because I'm like, well, I want to stay more time with her too,
Right.
They say technically if I want to and I don't want to work, I don't have to work. We can both just not work and then we'll just give her that type of life, I guess,
So
lifestyle.
the alternative is basically if you don't want to have to pay for his lawyers, for him to maintain the lifestyle you had when you guys were together, because you make more money than him, the court expects you to provide your same lifestyle and he doesn't have to have a job. Or the alternative is, okay, you just don't work, he doesn't work, and then you guys just live with whatever's left.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
Well, your relationship started with quality time. Now it's equality time. What are we talking about? What's the big... I don't get it. Isn't how it's supposed to be in court? That's how it is in court. That's how it is. You make more money, you try to maintain the same lifestyle. What's the... What are we discussing? That's how it is.
And we love it. I love this for you. I love it for you. Let's keep watching.
Comment that you made, one of your fights, you were like, this fight is literally still paying for my separation and my divorce.
Yeah.
Is that something that you still feel like you're still having to commit so much money to that financial burden and to support him?
Yes, 100%. It's
Financial burden. Interesting. I like the lingo here. Let's keep listening.
It's something that, like, living in California, it's a state that it's like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind how basically I go to court almost every year because he comes with this, whole map of how my career will be, like, oh, that she's going to win the belt here in a couple of years and then she's going to make this money. And it's just like, it's crazy to me how people can just be money orientated about other people's money. You know what I mean?
He goes in there and like projects your earnings.
Yes. Yeah, well, him and his lawyers, right? Yeah, like, okay, so she'll probably win the belt in 2 years or 1 year. And then people who win the belt, they make about this much money. I don't work. I'm like trying to work and provide this life for my daughter and like being a mom and taking care of her and doing all this thing. And then I still have to pay him and I have to pay his lawyers to fight against me. And so I'm like paying his lawyer's fees to get my money. And I'm paying my lawyer and then I'm paying him just to be like a dad. You know what I mean? Just like we have 50-50. So like he has half the time, I have half the time. And I pay for like health insurance and all that extra stuff because I make the most money. But he doesn't work at all, like no work.
You know, the thing is I'm not like happy about this. I'm not like, yay, celebrate. That's how it is. Mm-hmm. I'm not like, yeah, that's right. You think that's how it is. And now you make more money than him. That was the rule.
Yeah. And some folks, before it was a woman involved, when, it was men doing this, a lot of people would say things like, should have chose better. Should have watched out who you had kids with, bitch. Keep your in your pants. No? All right, well then take your money out, nigga. Right? That was the standard protocol. I'll get it.
But it still is.
Right. Hey, listen, man, you should have kept your coochie in your pants. Okay? Got a baby by him now.
Be a rich bitch.
That's it. And I'm very happy for you. As far as you have to pay while he doesn't work, that's generally the arrangement if he wasn't working while y'all were together. The same way if I got a stay-at-home wife and then 20 or 15 years or 10 years in, whatever the it is, I leave her, right? Expecting her to just start working right away is not the way this thing works. And people are like, well, that's stupid. No, it's not.
There's a hole.
Your child is going to go to their parents' place. If you had you maintained it as the breadwinner and you also take care of finance, you get divorced and then send your kid off to be destitute, that's not going to work. So the equitable thing, again, this doesn't make it 100% fair, but it is the most fair of all outcomes. The two options y'all pretty much saying is like, oh, I'm going to live in this mansion, she going to live fucking broke, and I'm going to send my kid. Well, what impact does that have on the child? The child going from a great environment to one where now this person has to work 2 jobs, barely can really handle things, and is not in a really safe environment, don't work. That's why the state gets involved in these kinds of situations. So, you don't have to love the system. I don't think the system is perfect by all means, but my girl, this is what it was for. I haven't even seen the comments, but I can imagine.
Yeah, of course. Dude's like, like, yeah, they're rooting for that. They're having fun. But I mean, to me, it's really just a what are we talking about?
He's so strong, and I'm so proud of him for doing what's best for him. He deserves someone better, and she should pay for everything she's damaged. The boys' night tonight to recover and talk.
He just flipped the script.
Welcome to the equality you asked for. Yes. See, I prefer it when these kind of situations are not gender-based, but just basically based off income. And it's generally been that way. It just so happens that we used to live in a society where men almost always made most of the money, A, and B, oftentimes didn't necessarily want primary custody. A lot of you guys at home are going to start arguing and yelling at me, but the truth is, a lot of dudes don't want to have primary custody of their kids. They love their kids, they want to be in their kids' life, but they don't want to manage them full time because they want to do other stuff when it comes to their career, when it comes to their life. And so as a result, it just so happens that a lot of dudes end up paying. But if you look at it, if you want custody, if she makes more, you're generally getting what you're supposed to get. At least from all the research I've seen, that's been the case. So, my girl, I know it sucks, but,
It does suck.
welcome to the equality you asked for. You want to be in the workforce, you want to make this bread, then you have the responsibilities that come with making more bread. Now, if we could just transfer this shit right here to the dating life, meaning if the girl makes more, she got to pay, I think we getting somewhere good. For sure.
Remember, guys, anything you can do, I can do better. That's the song you were looking for?
No. This is a man's world. That's what I was thinking.
This is a man's world.
That's what I was thinking as soon as she started complaining. There's one more clip from this podcast.
There's a conversation that happens on TikTok. This conversation about it's a woman who essentially believes that there should be absolutely no 50-50. Men should pay 100% of women's bills, and that should be the only circumstance that women are really ever in a relationship for.
Do you think this broad is probably just looking at her bank account, pulling out her dick and be like, yeah, because she paying for everything? No?
No. You know what I realized watching these things is that whenever women or people listen, whenever it's mostly women, let's not be afraid of the words. When women say, no, the man should pay, the man should pay, the man should pay, they really just think that it's because they're women. Sometimes they don't think that it's because, no, y'all used to not work. It's not a woman thing. It's you were at the position where you were not making a lot of money or no money at all. That's where it comes from. Yeah. They just think it's just, no, we're women, so we don't. There's a background to this. It's not because, boom, they crowned you queen and then, we don't pay. No, there's you didn't use to, there's a reason for that. It's not just the fact of gender, it's you didn't, go ahead.
As a queen with a K, I'm going to say, you got to pay. Yes, you do. You got to pay.
As a queen. Wait, what? As a
with
king?
A K?
Well, as a king with a Q.
Yeah, you gotta pay. You gotta
pay. Men should pay 100% of women's bills, and that should be the only circumstance that women are really ever in a relationship for. It sounds like at one point you were fine with supporting his lifestyle, and I guess at some point he was okay with you being the one who had money. But has your opinion on that changed? What did you think then? What do you think now?
There was never like a thing that I'm gonna pay for everything, When we met, he had his sponsors, he had his own money in Brazil. Our daughter was a surprise, we weren't expecting it. It was kind of accident.
I always wonder when people say it was an accident. Like, how is it an accident to bust inside somebody's guts?
Wrong hole. Anyways, go ahead.
How is it an accident to bust inside the wrong hole? That's not an accident. Them holes feel different. And if they don't, get your ass checked.
How'd you know it feel different?
Because I've been in both.
Oh.
Have you not?
I don't know.
Hey, listen, that's your marriage, and I know that's very personal. My apologies. But I don't think it's that crazy. Like, they feel different. Hold up. Think about it. I want you to think about a dark,
don't worry about it.
Swampy.
Bro, I know.
Okay.
Don't have to be. Fuck, you're big.
Chocolate asteroid field.
God.
Canal.
It's the swampy that killed me. It's the swampy that killed me.
Just bubbly. All right.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, there's just a little bit of a natural heat emanating. You know what I'm saying?
From the
just
area.
like when you staring at the desert and shit look a little hazy.
Yes.
The boom hole is like that too. You can never look at a boom hole straight. You got to look at it sideways. Put your peripherals.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever she's like, eat my ass out, I'm always like, all right, let's figure this shit out. I never look at it.
No.
You
don't look.
You don't, because there's a line about that. If you stare long enough at the abyss stares back. Have you ever had an anus stare back at you?
Yes. And I love it.
All right. I don't recommend it for you folks at home watching. All this to say, how is it a mistake? Think of some ways. How do you make a baby by accident? Aside from the Virgin Mary.
You fumbled a nut. Sorry.
I don't know, bro.
So when we decided, okay, like we're gonna get together and be a family, it was never nothing like, oh, I'm gonna take care of anything. But his money and his lifestyle and everything in Brazil was always like kept secret. And then obviously me being like a public figure, you know, he knew everything about how much I make and all this stuff and just kind of what kind of lifestyle I had, you know. For me and family, you know, like we're a team, you know. Right. So I'm trying to support him, you know, and I wanted him to travel and do his things and be happy too and serve, but never came from his side.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I feel for her. She really was trying to make something work, and this dude took advantage of her to get a bag. And yeah, that sucks. Regardless of man or woman, that's a terrible thing. Especially when the child is involved. It's like you would hope that both people, but I don't know the dynamics of the relationship. I don't know what happened. I'm curious if you guys had your say, you know, like aside from like the whole, oh, women, you get to have the male experience. If you guys could change the way this system works when a separation happens between a married or a couple that's been together for a long time and the child's involved, what is it? Just like everybody takes their money and fuck you, that's none of my business? Is that how you guys would see it? Or do you guys see something more equitable, or maybe something in the middle between what we have now and the whole fuck you and fuck your business?
I think there's kind of like a way where like a middle ground where you can go with the finance of the kids and make sure that the kids is taken care of and everything and stuff. What I have a problem is when someone takes like half, or you know, it's not even, you're not even trying to be good. You're trying to just overkill at this point. No, the taking advantage thing happens on both sides. Sometimes it's no longer about the child. It's no longer about the comfort of the child. It's about being petty. And I wish that sometimes the court would maybe make a better job into monitoring that it really goes to the kid and the comfort of the kid, and not just being petty and just, yeah, you should get this and get that, and you just try to scrap every pennies. But I think I haven't seen another way of doing things that would be equitable.
Yeah, so if you promise it's half. So what's a good percentage? What, 35, 25?
I don't think it's a question of percentage. It's really a question of evaluating what the needs are.
But need is a strong word.
Hold on.
You said need.
Yeah. When you're with someone, I think that being with someone has the privilege of having a certain lifestyle, and upkeeping the same lifestyle when you're not together anymore. That's a bit where I'm like, you're not supposed to have the same lifestyle. It came with being with that person.
Oh, okay. I didn't think. I severely disagree.
Oh, go ahead.
If you're in a relationship that long, you're contributing to the fact that they can even provide you with that lifestyle.
Sure.
Some might argue that you can't maybe even give them that lifestyle that you have, because you taking care of a lot of the business at home, the unpaid labor.
Fair.
The stuff that doesn't necessarily get disclosed, or you can't monetarily value in a lot of situations.
Sure.
Right? A lot of husbands actually benefit in their careers tremendously from having a partner at home, because a lot of the stuff at home is just handled. You know, in terms of having success in like the world of business, I'm pretty confident if I look up the numbers, men who have wives generally go a lot further in terms of climb in the upper echelon.
Sure, probably. They probably either they pay someone for that or they have the wife doing that. Yeah, I'm not saying that I should like totally disregard the work that's been done at work.
Sure.
Right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, yes, the point is that you're going to lose some kind of this lifestyle. You're not together. He's going to lose that lifestyle as well. He's not going to have that person on the side handling this. You know what I mean? He's going to have to hire someone or whatever. So both parties kind of losing the lifestyle. It's just that the face of the lifestyle, should I say, the providers should get more. It's like, yeah, of course. I mean, there's some people that are designing the shoes, right? They're designing certain shoes like Jordans and stuff like that. Well, they're part of the team, right? If the designer were not there, the shoe wouldn't sell as much as it is. But the face really is Jordan. And of course it's going to get more. And if you don't work for that company, even though you were the one that was able to get that shoe on the market, well, you're not going to have the same lifestyle, the same pay, whatever. You're going to go get a job somewhere else. So without the pay, without the benefit, without having to work on that project, you kind of lose of that lifestyle. Yes, of course, Jordan is going to be able to find someone else to fill the position faster, probably faster than you are going to find a position. But I think that's normal. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to disregard the work that's been done at work. Like, you have to take that in consideration, because that's 100% true.
Yeah. I think the other part of it is kids. Kids have to have an equitable lifestyle between both parents. if one was, the primary breadwinner and enabled, both parents to have that lifestyle, then when they separate, they want to make sure that the child doesn't have a huge, because divorce is already shocking enough as it is, to have to change homes half the time when you're with your other parents and then seeing them in a much worse situation. That's also bad for the child's development. So I think that's another part of it. But I did look it up. Married men do significantly better in terms of earnings. I think it's anywhere from 11 to 16% more. Married men typically work 20 to 30% more hours. Why? Exactly. So I think there's a lot of things to consider in terms of like labor that might not be presented that kind of factor into this whole thing. So I get what you're saying. Listen, I don't know what the right numbers are. Again, I'm just saying this is probably the best system of all the systems, but it's also...
It's unfair. There's some unfair things in that system. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. I don't think I'm wise enough to solve that or to be like, well, here's a solution. I don't have it.
What's that line? It's like democracy is the worst except for all the others. Right? And I feel similarly about this system. Because the opposite end of the system that some people advocate for, I think that's much worse. Well, let us know what y'all think in the comments. We want to hear from you.